6 lucky numbers to focus and get rich on the 29th of July, 2025 Buddhist teachings. What if the universe isn't random, but gently guiding you toward your next breakthrough? As July 29th, 2025 approaches, you may start noticing certain numbers popping up around you on receipts, license plates, the clock. At first, they seem like nothing. But in the light of Buddhist wisdom, these moments carry quiet meaning. They're not about superstition, they're about awareness, about aligning your life, your energy, and your actions with what truly matters. In this video, we're diving deep into 6 lucky numbers, not in the gambling sense, but in the spiritual sense. These are numbers rich with symbolism, rooted in ancient teachings and modern relevance. Each one holds a unique message: healing, strength, timing, service, and transformation. If you're ready to invite clarity, purpose, and even abundance into your life, not just financially, but emotionally and spiritually, then stay with me. Because luck, from a Buddhist perspective, isn't something that just happens to you. It's something you cultivate through intention, mindfulness, and wise action. Let's begin this journey together. 1. Number 6, the quiet healer. The number 6, often called the quiet healer, carries a deep spiritual resonance, especially in the context of Buddhist teachings. Rooted in emotional harmony, compassion, and the strength to rebuild, the energy of this number offers a powerful reminder as we approach July 29th, 2025. In Buddhism, the number 6 symbolizes nourishment not only of the body but more importantly of the heart and mind. It encourages stillness and inner strength, aligning beautifully with the practice of samatha, or calm abiding. This is not about chasing wealth in the conventional sense, but about planting the seeds of abundance within. The Buddha once said, "Peace comes from within, do not seek it without." When the number 6 begins to appear more frequently in your life on receipts, clocks, or dates, it's not coincidence. It's a gentle nudge from the universe to pause, breathe, and realign with what truly matters. In a world that constantly demands more, faster, louder, number 6 reminds us that true richness is born from silence, from care, and from consistency. It tells us that healing doesn't rush, and that building something meaningful, whether it's a relationship, a business, or self-worth, requires patience and compassion. The more we can reconnect with our emotional balance, the more we begin to attract stability in other areas of our life, including finances. In modern life, this might look like choosing meaningful work over high stress for more money, or making space for meditation instead of constantly chasing deadlines. It's a shift from reactive living to intentional living. As Thich Nhat Hanh taught, sometimes your joy is the source of your smile, but sometimes your smile can be the source of your joy. So this July, if you feel overwhelmed, let the number 6 remind you. Step back, soften your heart, rebuild what has been worn down, because from this place of inner harmony, true prosperity begins to grow. 2. Number 8, inner strength and abundance. On July 29th, 2025, if you keep seeing the number 8, take it as a sign the universe, and perhaps even your karma, is speaking to you. In Buddhist thought, the number 8 holds powerful energy. It represents inner strength, infinite prosperity, and the deep balance between the material and the spiritual. This isn't just about making more money, it's about growing into the kind of person who can hold that abundance with wisdom. Think of number 8 like a symbol of the noble eightfold path: right view, right action, right livelihood. It asks you to align your external goals with your internal values. So, if you've been chasing shortcuts or quick wins, now is the time to pause and ask, am I truly living in a way that reflects what I value most? True prosperity, in both wealth and peace, comes from consistent action over time, not sudden luck. There's a story I once heard about a man named Daniel from Oregon who, after losing his job, began seeing 8s everywhere on receipts, license plates, even the clock. Instead of panicking, he remembered the Buddhist teaching, "Wealth gained slowly, through effort and wisdom, lasts." He refocused his life, studied carpentry, something he'd always loved but ignored, and eventually opened a small but thriving furniture business. That business didn't just make him money, it brought him purpose. So, I ask you now, what part of your life is asking for long-term commitment instead of quick gratification? This number is not a promise of overnight success. It's an invitation to build something lasting, something aligned with your heart. The real gift of number 8 is this. It reminds us that when we focus on what truly matters and walk with discipline, abundance comes naturally not just in our wallets, but in our spirits. The key lesson here is simple: stay true, stay steady, and trust the quiet power of right effort. 3. Number 14. Purposeful transformation. If you've been noticing the number 14 appearing around you lately, whether on receipts, license plates, or even just randomly throughout your day, don't ignore it. In the light of Buddhist wisdom, such moments are not mere coincidence, but gentle nudges from the universe guiding you toward deeper awareness. The number 14 holds a powerful energy of purposeful transformation. It carries the vibration of patience, structure, and sustainable change. Let's break this down. The number 1 represents new beginnings, that spark of inspiration, that first courageous step. The number 4 stands for foundation, for something stable and lasting. When brought together as 14, these two forces remind you that true growth is not rushed. It's intentional. It's built brick by brick with mindfulness and care. This is not the type of change that makes headlines overnight. It's the quiet, steady evolution that happens when you show up every day, even when the results are not visible yet. And in Buddhism, we are reminded, as rain falls equally on the just and the unjust, do not burden your heart with judgments, but let it fall gently and transform. So, if you keep seeing 14, consider this. Are you being asked to commit more deeply to something long-term? Are you planting seeds now that your future self will one day thank you for? Buddha taught us the path is walked step by step, never rushed, never forced. This number calls you to build something meaningful, patiently and intentionally. Maybe it's a project, a relationship, or your own inner transformation. Whatever it is, number 14 is a sign to remain grounded, stay present, and honor the process. Let me ask you, what foundation are you building right now, and how can you bring more mindfulness into that journey today? If you've watched up to this point, you're already aligning your energy with the 6 lucky numbers that could open doors to wealth on July 29th, 2025. Comment below with "Lucky Path" to show your intention to invite abundance into your life. Don't miss a single moment. Stay with us until the end to discover how Buddhist wisdom can guide you toward focus, fortune, and a more prosperous future. 4. Number 22. The Master Builder. The number 22, often known in numerology as the Master Builder, carries profound spiritual weight, especially when viewed through the lens of Buddhist teachings. It symbolizes readiness, not just on a surface level, but a deep internal preparedness that comes from walking the middle way, the path of balance, neither falling into indulgence nor rigid denial. In Buddhism, balance is wisdom in action, and when the number 22 appears, it's often a sign that you are reaching a moment where your past efforts, spiritual, emotional, even financial, are ripening. Much like a seed that has been nurtured with care and patience, your intentions and actions are aligning with right timing. This number emerges quietly, like the calm before a fruitful harvest, letting you know that your dedication is not in vain. As the Dhammapada teaches, as irrigators guide water, as archers shape the arrow, as carpenters carve wood, the wise shape their lives. Similarly, the energy of 22 reflects the shaping of life's circumstances into something meaningful through deliberate, steady effort. In today's fast-paced world, where instant results are glorified, seeing this number reminds us to remain steady, grounded, and trusting in the process. The breakthroughs we seek, whether in wealth, career, or personal growth, often come just after the point where we might consider giving up. So, let this number remind you, your quiet strength is not unnoticed by the universe. Stay committed, remain centered, and trust that what you've built in silence will soon speak volumes. 5. Number 27. Divine timing and intuition. The number 27 carries a quiet but powerful energy, and when it starts showing up in your life, whether on receipts, clocks, or unexpected places, it's not a coincidence. In Buddhist thought and numerology, 27 is all about divine timing and intuition. The number 2 represents harmony and relationships, while 7 is known for inner wisdom and deep spiritual insight. Together, they form a message that you're standing at a subtle crossroads, and while it might not be loud or dramatic, it's an important moment that calls for calm alignment, not frantic decision-making. Have you ever felt like you were being pulled in two directions, unsure which path to take? That's exactly when 27 appears not to push you, but to gently remind you that the answers are already within. A woman named Lisa from Oregon once shared her story. She had been overwhelmed with anxiety about switching careers in her mid-40s. Every time she hesitated, she kept noticing the number 27 on her emails, her parking receipts, even on a random podcast episode length. Taking it as a sign, she slowed down, tuned into her intuition, and made the move not out of fear, but from a deep sense of calm. Today, she's thriving in her new work, doing what truly fulfills her. So let me ask you, when was the last time you paused long enough to hear your own inner voice? Are you rushing, or are you truly aligned? The number 27 is here to tell you, don't force what isn't ready. Just like a lotus opens when it's time, your life unfolds best when you trust your timing. The lesson here is simple but profound. Let go of the urge to control every outcome. When you stay calm, present, and listen deeply, you begin to notice that life has a rhythm, and you're already part of it. Trust yourself, you're exactly where you need to be. 6. Number 30. 3. The bonus master number. Let's take a moment together to reflect on a powerful and deeply spiritual number, 33, often known as the bonus master number. Now, you might be wondering, why is this number so important? Well, 33 is not just any number. In Buddhist and many esoteric teachings, it's considered a master number, a sacred symbol of higher consciousness, deep compassion, and selfless service. When this number appears in your life, whether you see it on the clock, a receipt, or even a license plate, it's not by accident. It's a quiet whisper from the universe, or as we say in the Dhamma, a sign that your higher self is trying to guide you toward awakening. The energy of 33 carries the noble path of the Bodhisattva, one who delays their own enlightenment to help others rise. This number calls on you to lead not through pride or ambition, but through love, humility, and wisdom. Think of the Buddha's words. Thousands of candles can be lit from a single candle, and the life of the candle will not be shortened. This is the essence of 33 when you share your light, your guidance, and your compassion. Your own life becomes even more radiant. You're being invited now to walk a path where leadership means lifting others, where success is measured not just by wealth, but by how many hearts you've touched and helped to heal. Ask yourself, how can I be of greater service to others today? How can I rise not just for myself, but for the good of all beings? Keep these questions close to your heart as we move forward, and stay open to the subtle signs life gives you, because when 33 shows up, it's your moment to step into a higher version of yourself. Let's carry that energy with us as we continue our journey together. The universe speaks in signs, and today, it may be speaking through these 6 numbers. If you're ready to focus your energy and welcome prosperity on July 29th, comment "Fortune flows" below. Stay with us, there's still more to uncover on the path to mindful success. Managing money with mindfulness makes you richer. In today's fast-moving world, money often feels like a source of stress. We chase it, worry about it, and sometimes lose ourselves in it. But what if the path to true financial well-being isn't just about making more, but about thinking differently? Buddhism teaches us to bring awareness into every part of life, including how we handle money. When we manage our money with mindfulness, we don't just become richer in our bank accounts, we become richer in peace, purpose, and freedom. Number 1. Understanding the true meaning of wealth. In the quiet teachings of mindfulness, we come to see that true wealth has little to do with numbers in a bank account or the square footage of a home. Rather, it is deeply tied to our state of mind, our relationship with what we already have. Wealth, in the Buddhist view, is the inner contentment that arises not from accumulation but from appreciation. As the Dhammapada reminds us, health is the greatest gift, contentment the greatest wealth, faithfulness the best relationship. Many people spend their lives chasing financial security, only to discover they feel more anxious with each raise or material gain. Why? Because without mindfulness, our desires expand faster than our resources. A person who eats a simple meal with gratitude and sleeps soundly at night is already living richly, perhaps more so than someone constantly worried about investments, status, or future gains. When we begin to observe our thoughts and spending habits with awareness, we notice how often fear or insecurity drives our financial decisions. But mindfulness gently invites us to pause, breathe, and ask, is this enough? This shift from craving more to appreciating what is transforms money from something that controls us into something we can skillfully use to support our values, relationships, and peace of mind. In today's fast-paced world, where social media often shows only highlight reels of wealth and success, it's easy to feel behind. But here lies a vital teaching. Contentment is not complacency. It is clarity. It's the ability to recognize sufficiency and let go of the endless hunger for more. The Zen master Ryokan, who lived in poverty yet radiated peace, once wrote, "If you want to find contentment, look into your own heart." This doesn't mean we shouldn't earn or grow financially. It means we do so with intention, aligning our work and spending with what brings us meaning, not just what brings us status. One powerful modern practice is tracking your expenses with mindfulness, not as a punishment, but as a way to notice what truly nourishes you. When you realize that some of your happiest moments cost little or nothing, like walking in nature, cooking with family, or helping someone in need, you start to redefine what wealth actually feels like. And this redefinition brings a deep freedom. We must remember that money is a tool, not a master. It is energy that reflects our choices. When we become mindful stewards of that energy, we cultivate a life that is not only financially stable, but spiritually grounded. This groundedness is the kind that survives market changes, aging, or job loss. As the Buddha taught, just as a solid rock is not shaken by the storm, even so the wise are not affected by praise or blame. The same wisdom applies to our financial life. Let your sense of wealth come not from the noise of external comparison, but from the quiet strength of inner contentment. In this way, managing money with mindfulness doesn't just make you richer in dollars, it makes you richer in peace, in purpose, and in the joy of simply being alive. Number 2. Awareness of spending habits. Once we begin to understand that true wealth comes from within, not just from what we own, it's only natural that we turn our attention to the way we spend. You see, awareness of spending habits is like turning on a light in a room we've been walking through in the dark. Without awareness, money tends to slip away silently, like water running through our hands. Has that ever happened to you? You check your account at the end of the week and wonder, where did it all go? That's not because you're irresponsible, it's because most of us spend on autopilot. The key to mindful money management isn't about strict budgeting or self-blame, but about gently asking ourselves honest questions. Why am I buying this? Do I really need it, or am I trying to fill an emotional gap? Spending becomes so much easier when we're stressed, lonely, bored, or trying to keep up with others. But when we slow down and truly look at the intention behind each purchase, we often find that we're not spending to meet a need, we're spending to soothe an emotion. This is where mindfulness gives us real power, not to restrict our lives, but to free us from unconscious habits that don't actually bring happiness. The beauty of this approach is that it's not about guilt. It's about compassion. Instead of criticizing yourself for buying something unnecessary, you gently observe it and say, "Ah, I see what happened there. I was feeling anxious, and I thought this would help." When you approach your choices this way, you open the door to wiser decisions, ones that serve your deeper values rather than your passing moods. Isn't it more meaningful to spend in a way that supports long-term peace rather than just chasing short-term pleasure? When we become aware of our habits, we can shift from impulsive spending to intentional living. Over time, this not only helps us save money, but also builds self-respect, calm, and a deeper sense of control in life. Just think for a moment, what if every purchase became an opportunity to know yourself better? What if tracking your spending wasn't about cutting back, but about understanding what truly brings you joy and what simply distracts you from discomfort? These small acts of awareness, repeated over time, begin to rewire our relationship with money. We begin to choose quality over quantity, purpose over pressure, and connection over comparison. And the more we do this, the more we discover that we need less than we thought to be content. As the Buddha wisely said, "The craving of a thoughtless man grows like a creeper. He runs from life to life, like a monkey seeking fruit in the forest." But when we live with awareness, we stop chasing and start choosing. So, here's the takeaway I want you to carry with you today. Every time you spend, pause for just a breath and ask yourself, is this in line with the life I want to live? That simple question is not about restriction, it's about direction. When you make peace with your spending, you begin to feel rich in ways that money alone could never offer. That's the quiet power of mindful living. It helps you spend not to escape life, but to support it. Number 3. Saving and simplicity go hand in hand. Now that you've started to notice your spending habits and bring more awareness to the emotions behind each purchase, the next step is learning how saving and simplicity naturally support one another. And no, this isn't about giving up everything you love or living like a monk in a cave. It's about creating space in your life so that peace, not pressure, becomes your foundation. Saving money, when done mindfully, isn't driven by fear or scarcity. It comes from a place of care, of love, of clarity. You're not just putting money away for some far-off emergency, you're building a cushion that lets you breathe more easily today. Have you ever felt the stress of living paycheck to paycheck, or the anxiety of unexpected bills? Most of us have. But imagine how different life would feel if you had even a small buffer set aside, created not from deprivation, but from conscious choices. That's where the deep connection between saving and simplicity begins to shine. When you choose to simplify, not to punish yourself, but to free yourself, you naturally spend less. And what you save, you're not just hoarding, you're investing in your peace of mind. As the Buddha once said, contentment is the greatest wealth. When we practice simplicity, we begin to realize that we don't need as much as we thought to be happy. This clarity isn't something that happens overnight. It grows little by little, each time you choose not to buy something you don't need, each time you cook at home instead of ordering out, each time you decide to repair instead of replace. Those decisions don't just protect your wallet, they strengthen your sense of self-trust. And over time, that trust turns into confidence and calm. So ask yourself, what could you let go of that doesn't actually add value to your life? What things do you buy or hold on to that drain more energy than they give? And more importantly, what kind of life are you trying to build? Because saving isn't about having more, it's about needing less and still feeling full. It's a quiet form of wealth that gives you freedom, not just financial freedom, but emotional freedom, the kind that lets you make decisions from wisdom, not from fear. The Zen teacher Shunryu Suzuki said, "When you realize nothing is lacking, the whole world belongs to you." And it's true. When you begin to simplify, you don't shrink your life. You expand your awareness of what truly matters. You gain time, energy, clarity, and presence. So the next time you save money, whether it's $5 or $500, see it as an act of self-respect. You're telling yourself, I care about my well-being, I trust myself with what I have, and I'm building a future that isn't rushed or reactive. Simplicity is not about less for the sake of less, it's about more space, more intention, and more freedom. And through that space, money becomes not a source of stress, but a support for the life you truly want to live. If this message about saving and simplicity touched something in you, drop a comment below with, "I choose peace over pressure." It's a small way to affirm that you're ready to live with more clarity, intention, and freedom starting now. Number 4. Generosity as an investment in inner wealth. As we continue exploring the mindful path to financial well-being, it becomes clear that wealth isn't just about saving or spending wisely, it's also about giving. In Buddhist teaching, generosity, or dana, is considered one of the most powerful forms of spiritual practice because it shifts our focus from lack to abundance. When you give, whether it's money, food, time, or kindness, you open your heart and invite joy into your life. And here's something important to remember. Generosity isn't about how much you give, but the spirit in which you give it. Have you ever felt that warm, uplifting feeling after helping someone, even in a small way? That's inner wealth taking root. True giving starts from the understanding that you already have something to offer. Whether you offer a listening ear, share a home-cooked meal, or donate a few dollars to a cause you care about, you're making a meaningful investment not just in others, but in yourself. You're training your heart to be expansive, not tight, open, not fearful. The Buddha taught, "If you knew what I know about the power of giving, you would not let a single meal pass without sharing it in some way." That doesn't mean giving recklessly or from guilt. It means giving with awareness and gratitude. In modern life, where we're constantly pushed to accumulate and compete, it's easy to fall into a mindset of scarcity, thinking we never have enough. But have you ever asked yourself, what if I already have more than enough? That question alone can shift your entire relationship with money and success. Generosity reminds us that life is not just about acquiring, but about connecting. And the more we give, the more we feel connected to others, to our values, and to a life of purpose. In fact, research in psychology backs this up. Generous people often report higher levels of happiness and life satisfaction. But even beyond science, we know this in our bones. When we give from the heart, we don't feel smaller, we feel richer. Just as water must flow to stay fresh, the wealth we hold must circulate to stay alive. Holding on too tightly creates stagnation, sharing creates vitality. So as you move through your own journey of managing money with mindfulness, ask yourself this: where can I give joyfully today, not out of obligation, but out of recognition that I have something meaningful to offer? Maybe it's a tip to someone who served you kindly. Maybe it's your time with someone who's lonely. Or maybe it's supporting a friend's dream. The gesture doesn't have to be grand, it only needs to be sincere. Giving in this way doesn't deplete your wealth. It multiplies it in a form that the bank can't measure, but your soul deeply feels. And this, more than anything, is what makes you truly rich, not just in possessions, but in peace, compassion, and joy that ripple outward, quietly enriching the world around you. Number 5. Aligning money with your values. As we go deeper into the mindful approach to money, a powerful question begins to rise to the surface. Is the way I earn, spend, and invest money in alignment with who I truly am? This isn't just a financial question, it's a deeply personal one that asks you to pause and consider whether your money habits reflect your values. In the rush of everyday life, it's easy to separate our financial decisions from our sense of purpose. But mindfulness invites us to bridge that gap. When the way you make and use money supports what you care about, whether that's honesty, compassion, creativity, or community, you begin to feel a powerful sense of peace. You're no longer just working to survive or spending to impress. You're moving with intention, building a life that feels meaningful to you. The Buddha once taught, "Our life is shaped by our mind. We become what we think." In the same way, your financial life is shaped by your awareness. If you value kindness, do your purchases reflect kindness to others, to the planet, to yourself? If you value integrity, is the work you do aligned with your sense of ethics, or are you silently compromising for a paycheck? These aren't easy questions, but they are necessary if we want to live in a way that feels whole. And this doesn't mean you need to have the perfect job or never buy anything nice. It means taking a closer look at where your money flows and asking, is this supporting the kind of world I want to live in? For example, when you choose to support small businesses instead of fast fashion, or invest in experiences over material things, or say no to work that drains your spirit, you are aligning your money with your values. And that alignment creates lightness. You feel more empowered, more at peace, and less trapped in the endless cycle of chasing more. You might even find that you spend less because your spending is more meaningful. So take a moment and ask yourself, what matters most to me, and how can my financial choices reflect that? When your money habits are grounded in your truth, there's no guilt, no regret, only clarity and confidence. This is the heart of mindful wealth. It's not about being rich by the world's standards. It's about being rich in integrity, in joy, and in alignment with your deeper purpose. So here's the takeaway. Don't just manage your money. Let your money be a reflection of your values. Let it serve your well-being, your relationships, your dreams, and your contribution to the world. That's not just good finance, that's wise living. As we've seen today, lucky numbers aren't just about superstition, they are quiet reminders from the universe, asking us to live with more intention, mindfulness, and heart. Whether it's healing through the number 6, building with the strength of 22, or rising with the compassion of 33, these numbers are symbols of energy you can align with to create real abundance, both inside and out. So as the 29th of July approaches, remember, wealth isn't just about money, it's about meaning. And when you walk the path with awareness, generosity, and wisdom, prosperity will follow naturally. If this message spoke to you, let us know by commenting "Fortune Flows" below. And if you found value in today's video, please support our journey by liking, sharing, and subscribing to The Journey of Wisdom. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you won't miss the next lesson on mindful living and spiritual growth. Thank you for walking this path with us. May peace, purpose, and prosperity always flow through your life. Until next time, be well, stay mindful, and keep journeying in wisdom.